Hello and welcome to another Clifford Chance tech video with Crafty Counsel. I'm Jack Hardman, a counsel at Clifford Chance Dubai. I'm joined today by Vandana R, Head of Legal at Pyypl, and Donya Fredj, Senior Legal Counsel at G42. I think we're going to talk a bit about how law firms and private practice and in-house legal teams in the tech sector can work better together. And I know you've both had experience both in private practice and in-house, both in the tech space. So very interested in your perspectives on how those two teams can work best together in the sector. Starting with you, Vandy.
Sure. I would say that in-house counsel and external lawyers need to stay connected throughout the relationship journey, right? It's not something that needs to be just transaction-based. There's so much I think both sides can do for each other. External lawyers can, share industry insights, talk about developments. Ideally, not just send general alerts or information that I, as an in-house counsel, can already see on the news, but kind of trying to tailor it and customizing it to the audience, right? I mean, it would be so helpful for me to see that I have an external lawyer who genuinely cares for me and has interest in my business.
Donya, G42 is such a big organization. I mean, how do you have time to develop those relationships with external counsel?
Yeah, I mean, actually, that's a good point, because I think G42 is slightly different from some companies in the way that we operate and the way that we structure our legal team. So, whereas some companies, I think, especially these days, prefer to have leaner teams, we have actually gone in the opposite direction and actually have built a fairly big team, and some people actually call us a mini law firm, because we have around 15 now, I think, on our team, all of us specialising in different areas. And our strategy has been more about actually keeping a greater proportion of the legal work in-house rather than directing it to external counsel. I think that's partly for two reasons. One is cost savings, but two, I think even more importantly, it's a strategic move on our end because it enables legal to build a closer relationship with the business team. Personally, I've been in meetings sitting with the COO, the CFO, so it's a great opportunity for me to get to know the business better and provide more tailored legal advice. I wouldn't say we're a startup, we're kind of somewhere in between, right? We have a startup mentality in that we're very innovative, we're fast paced, but we're also growing exponentially. So we're kind of somewhere in between the startup and the corporate, but given how fast paced we're moving, how much work we have, and the complexity of some of our transactions, we obviously rely on external counsel, there's no doubt about it. And I think there are different things that we look for in our external counsel. The main one, I guess, is as Vandy said, we want our kind of lawyers to care about the business, to care about the organisation, and to really know what we do and give structured, tailored advice. And also, again, what Vandy touched upon, that personal relationship, having external counsel that are responsive, that you can pick up the phone to and just have a chat with and pick their brain on some topic that's come up.
Yeah, indeed. And I think in the tech sector, especially when you're both part of businesses that are growing so fast and we're preparing advice as external counsel, the days of these long memos, are over. We have to produce something which is tailored to your business. And in that sense, it's not just about making it succinct in way, but also the outcomes need to match your risk profile and what you're trying to do as a business. So we've spoken about how external counsel can work to make sure the advice is succinct, solution-orientated, digestible, and made according to your risk tolerance and knowing the business. What else do you think external counsel can do to help, especially in the tech space?
Yeah, sure. I think the fee structure, right? I mean, there's so much dirt of law firms out there who understand that startups like ours, we don't have the budgets like big tech companies, right? But we also have similar problems and issues to tackle. So I think what law firms can look to doing is come up with some sort of an innovative fee structure, something that's more digestible, or at least like a starter pack, so as to speak, and try to see how you can kind of help the client to address their needs. And then you see how the work develops and the relationship develops, and then find better ways of coming up with some structure that works for both sides.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good point that Vandy's touched upon, in that there are in addition to law firms, there are a lot more alternative legal service providers right now, including the Big Four, and you've got a number of like legal tech startups popping up. So I think law firms today, even more than ever now need to be thinking about ways of how can we deliver legal services to our clients in the most efficient and most competitive manner. And I think one way they can think about doing that, and they already are, is actually looking at tech itself. How can they adopt, certain software or tools, whether it's, automation, for example, or data analytics to help them do their job better.
Yeah, and I think at Clifford Chance, we know that, if something can be done by technology and we can drive efficiencies through that, or by our legal project managers coming in rather than lawyers, and we can focus that budget you talk about on the specific legal work rather than these tools that can be automated. And that's definitely where the future will be for our services. But anyway, thank you very much for being here today, Donya and Vandy.
Thank you so much for having us, Jack.
Thank you, Jack. My pleasure.